to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. Now, the stars have aligned, meaning that I will be able to provide this what if for my 3K special, which I haven't really been keeping track of. Now, with that being said, I do need to do some more research on Tokyo Ghoul, but I did find a unique way to do this series. Before I begin, this series will be a vigilante one, meaning that it isn't a hero, it isn't a villain. Midoriya is going to be going through actual struggles for survival. Being a ghoul, he's not going to be eating death row inmates or doing anything like that. Unless he ends up in jail. Which, hey, it works. Along with that, being a villain will just be too easy. Now, with that being said, I believe that that's a good point to start with. Let us start with Hasashi Midoriya. In his life, he's had a couple of chance encounters with ghouls. He himself finds them to be a bit disturbing, and at least freaky. However, he does somewhat understand them. He can be considered a human ghoul sympathizer. However, he is starting his new job at the CCG. He is going to be a ghoul hunter, meaning that he is going to be taking things down and killing them. This job should be relatively easy, since the way people label ghouls, they are not human. They are simply creatures wearing human flesh that will gladly eat you because you're just nothing more than food to them. Now, with that, he would walk into the building and go through the entire security procedures, along with them checking to see if he is a ghoul or not. Now, with that being said, while he is going through his first day and going through training and stuff like that, let's cut over to Inko Midoriya, who herself cannot relate to anything. All of her life, she's been fighting for survival. And in fact, she is hungry. Very, very hungry. As she herself is currently tearing apart one of her old high school friends and eating them. She never really liked this girl in the first place, but she was glad that she kept in touch, just in case. She was considered to be at least an emergency food, meaning that if she couldn't find anyone, she could talk with her. She does at least stay in town and go shopping at a local supermarket. All you really need to do is plan out what time you're going to run into her. She does have a schedule, and it's very easy to read. Her tearing her apart and eating her old friend. As whenever she is done, she would just leave, leaving what's left of the body, and at least taking a few chunks of meat for later. You can call her a binge eater. She does at least do so, but she does at least try to be prepared, in case she ever does find herself running low. As let us cut back over to Hisashi. He is trying to figure all this out. The way ghouls work and the way their weapons at least harm them. The way people describe ghouls, they can heal from anything. They can run fast, jump high, do almost anything a quirk can do. As they go over exactly how the first ghoul was born. It's being only a couple theories. Some people are skeptical about them. Someone throwing out a theory that someone with a quirk they call RC simply had it mutate whenever it got strong enough. Whenever this man had a son, his son was considered to be the first ghoul, since his mother's quirk would have been yada yada yada. It being mere speculation. Could it be that the ghouls are a manifestation or a part of a quirk? Another being that simply these theories and these theories. I could go into them, but you guys aren't here for those. Now, with that being said, let us cut to about a couple months later. Hasashi and his partner, they have been at least taking down some ghouls. His partner, being a veteran at this sort of stuff, has taken down over 20 to 50 ghouls in his lifetime. And he is counting the assist. If he goes for once he's killed by himself, he's at least done 37. And he at least has a good story about fighting two ghouls at once. One of them actually taking a chunk out of his arm. As he basically show Hasashi a bite directly on his forearm, saying that that thing took a while to heal. Sadly, they can make weapons out of these things, but they can't at least extract some of those abilities. It'd be very useful. As you just ask Hasashi exactly what is his quirk. If he's going to be in the CCG, he has to have a strong one, especially for a profession like this. Hasashi just saying that he's actually quirkless, and that he's at least wanted to try and be a hero his own way. Ghoul Hunter wasn't very high on the list. In fact, it never really was. Until one of his old friends, he found out was at least a ghoul. The guy asked exactly what happened to him. Hasashi's saying that he's not too sure. He found out about it and he was going to call someone. His friend, though, ran off, and he never saw him again. He's guessing he was either picked up, gone out of town, or was probably killed, or someone reported him later on. I did at least phone it in, because I felt like I needed to. Ah, good man. You can't really trust what your eyes tell you. These things look human, but they most definitely are not. As the two are walking through an alleyway, and not a young girl, well, at least I want to say fairly young, would walk by, as she's at least holding a handbag, and she would spill it onto the ground. Hasashi looking down and actually going to pick something up, picking it up and handing it back over to the woman, as she herself would try and bend down and pick up her belongings. As soon as she does make eye contact with Hasashi, he would see her, and think that she's actually a very beautiful woman. Kinda somewhat staggering over his own words. He himself has only taken down, or at least tried facing, a couple ghouls. His partner was able to kill them, but he at least was able to get assist, kills as they call them. Then again, those don't really count. Masashi somewhat stumbling over his own words, as the woman just grabbed the piece out of his hand saying thank you, along with trying to at least get his name. Him giving it to her, as his partner would walk up, holding a suitcase. Enko looking directly at him and realizing that he's CCG. So, he's not alone. Damn. Well, I can at least see what those Kagunes are. As she herself does think. She can take him down, and that could be fun, but she'd possibly die in the process. Introducing herself as Inko, well, her last name, I'm not really sure what it was before she met Hasashi. As he would just say, Hasashi Midoriya. The two shaking hands and at least exchanging phone numbers. The girl wanting to give her phone number to Hasashi. Hasashi just taking it and being confused, as the girl would just quickly run off. And the guy with Hasashi would just say that he's gotta be a real ladies' man. He barely even talked to that girl, and she was still falling over her own words for him. Hasashi not really sure what to say. That has never happened to him before. Okay. Eventually, the patrol turning up nothing. So, this binge eater. They must not be here. Damn. Guess we'll find him another night. Alright. Well, I suggest we just turn in then, and clock out for work. Afterwards, you can buy me a beer you owe me. Oh, please, I got last round. You're picking up this time. Fine. But if I do, you gotta give that girl a call. The two going back and forth, giving each other shit. Now, with that, this is whenever, at the bar, Hasashi would at least try texting this girl. Her responding, and talking with him. The two trying to at least talk more and set things up. Eventually, Hasashi being stupid, and asking the girl if she'd like to go out sometime. And her at least accepting that. Before his phone would die, he gets shit-faced at the bar and ends up having to take a taxi home. Waking up with a hangover and finding his phone. Plugging it in for the morning and then trying to go about his day. Before reading the text. Not only did he apparently, well, surprise, surprise, get a date, he's apparently going to have to meet her after work. As they would talk about the best place to meet. A cafe. That seems fairly interesting. Alright. He's in. Eventually the two meeting up and having a bit of coffee together. Along with talking. Enko at least thinking. She does have plenty of food at home. And this human. He's CCG, but from what she's at least heard him talk about, he's never killed a ghoul. As Hasashi just starts talking about an old story he has. Him trying to just talk about it and explain it. Eventually coming back to that old friend who was a ghoul. Before his face would go from a bit of excitement to a bit sour looking. And then a bit sad. As he does look down. Before he does at least mumble his friend's name. The man pouring his coffee, at least looking up from the bar. 4 seconds. Before just looking back down. Thinking. That girl's here again. So. The binge eater. Well, should be expected. That is why she gets her name. So, what is she gonna do to this one? Well, doesn't matter. As eventually they would leave. And be talking a bit more. It's very late at night. Hasashi trying to put up a brave front, that he'll be here to protect her from any ghouls that come by, and to not worry. And Coelho's thinking, this is a very kind young man, a very passionate one. He's nice, he's funny. Exactly what is so different about him and us? Now she does actually ask him one single question. What is his opinion on ghouls? He's CCG, but from their conversation earlier, he's never killed one, right? Well, yeah. Funny thing is, I've ran into ghouls before I even started working there. In fact, apparently, I knew someone for years and didn't realize they were one. I guess he just got too good at hiding it. Then again, I might just be wrong. So, what? I still consider the guy to be one of my best friends, though. That probably sounds weird or stupid, right? Oh, a human, best friends with a ghoul. I mean, I probably sound crazy. Her just saying, not really. I was actually a bit surprised. And she was just going saying that weird things have happened, right? You do have quirks, so the world is at least different. Funny enough, I'm actually quirkless. And Cool a bit surprised. He's CCG and quirkless. Those two aren't really a good combination. Her asking exactly why does he do the job? The two going back and forth. Before she does at least get back to her apartment, and Hisashi would leave. Eventually the two going out more and talking more. Inko at least slowing down on her binge eating. If she keeps it up, Hisashi might catch her. Especially because he does at least discuss small parts of the case with her. Oh, they just got a new lead. Oh, we were just doing this before work ended. They were inspecting this area and they may have found something. These small little details. Apparently being so close to the person who's chasing after you is very hard. Especially since today, the two are going on another date. And eventually they would have kissed, along with actually talk more. Now, after a couple more months would pass, eventually the two would move in together and be talking more. Hisashi explained to the guy he knows that he's actually planning on marrying Inko and starting a family. They've talked about it a lot. The guy just saying that if he's gonna do that, then he probably can't be CCG. If he has people that care about him, they're going to protest him working. It's either the job or your family, man. I know which one I chose. So do you really want to go down that path? Hisashi thinking the guy is joking, before he does at least give him a stern look, and saying that in his entire life, ghouls have been a constant reminder of something. They killed his family, and he watched a ghoul tear apart his father. And for a second, he at least saw something there. The guy is saying that he saw a small fraction of humanity. The ghoul looked full of remorse after he tore out his father's throat. But then it stopped. The ghoul eating the flesh, and then proceeding to rip apart his dad, then his mother, and then his older brother. Eventually, after time, that ghoul was taken down and killed. Remember from that day forward, I started my CCG training. And I killed a ghoul on my first day. Hisashi actually a bit surprised. He's at least encountered 10, but still. He's only killed about 2. So, he doesn't understand why this guy holds such a personal grudge. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. As I saw, she would walk home and start heading to the apartments. That being whenever something is going on. Behind him, he does at least hear footsteps, and he is trying to pay attention to it. 1, 2, 1. Trying to pay attention for the pattern and the differences, as he actually does speed up his pace a bit, and he does hear the men try and catch up. He's being pursued by 2 ghouls. He's sure of it. He knows he is. As he does do one thing, he begins to lead them on a bit of a wild goose chase, staying in public and trying to get them to lose interest in him. He does need to get somewhere private, along with call his buddy. If he tries to take on 2 ghouls at once, that's practically suicide. As he does at least pull his phone to check it, and answer, or at least call his buddy pretending to answer the phone. As soon as he does so, he would just say, "Oh, hey man, so what's up?" "What's up? What are you talking about? You called me." "Oh yeah, nothing much, just walking down the street." "Hisashi, what are you talking about?" As Hisashi would just say that it's been a bit of a busy day, right? "Yeah, those ghouls today were really tricky though. I almost couldn't catch them. They almost had us, if you know what I mean." The guy not too sure what he's trying to say. Ghouls. Had us. You know what I mean. "Hisashi, is this a call for help? Do you need backup?" "Oh yeah, man, that would be perfect. Thank you. Besides, what about you and her?" As he would just list off a fake woman's name. Him just going on about a regular conversation on his end. The people behind him none the wiser. This being whenever he would at least start walking further. The guy's gonna try and meet him by an alleyway. That will be perfect. As eventually, he would get to the alleyway. The guy's supposed to be here any minute now. As whenever he does turn around, he immediately opens his briefcase and reveals his weapon, telling the 2 ghouls that they made a big mistake. He has backup coming in at any second now. This not really phasing these 2 ghouls, as they just go on saying that doesn't really matter. Any second means any. We're gonna kill you now. As one of them would charge forward, saying that this is for their friends. And something surprising happening. Inko, she is very fast. So, whenever Hisashi took longer to get home, she at least didn't want to go out. She didn't notice that she was a bit low on her stash. So she wanted to go out and hunt someone and just act like she went out for a walk. Now, whenever she is running across the rooftop and at least trying to pretend to be a pro, she would eventually jump over the roof where Hisashi's down in the alleyway, watching what's happening. As you just see Hisashi being thrown around and smashed into. As she watches these 2 ghouls try and take Hisashi down and eat him. Her just being in complete rage at what she sees. As he would just jump downwards and reveal her Kagune. Her eyes changing. As she smashes downwards and completely stabs through one of the ghouls, killing them. As soon as that does happen, Hisashi would just turn and swing, being able to cut into and take off the other ghoul's arm. since he was currently just gnawing into his side. Now, this is whenever Inko would just run up behind him, grabbing the ghoul and immediately just tearing him off of Hisashi. As she does actually just bring her hand upwards and uses her Kagane to slice off his head. As his head will fall clean off, dying. Now, after that does happen, Inko just looks straight at Hisashi, as his vision's blurry and he's lost quite a lot of blood. Her basically just hiding her weapon and her eyes, yelling at Hisashi, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" over and over again with tears in her eyes. Eventually, backup arriving. Watching as you do have Inko holding Hisashi, who is bloody and very damaged. Inko's at least covered in quite a bit of blood, as it basically looks like she was just with him whenever this happened, and he tried to defend her. Eventually, Hisashi going to the hospital, getting his injuries patched up, and heading back home. And now he's trying to think about what he saw. Inko going about things as business as usual. Well, for him, he doesn't think that's right. The last thing I remember seeing is Inko, but her eyes were. No, that doesn't make sense. She wasn't there. She couldn't have been. Backup arrived and then he sort of just killed them, right? At least that's what the record says. It's all a bit fuzzy and hard to remember. As the next day at work, quite a lot of people are at least taking notice of him. Apparently, he just killed 2 ghouls in one night. This being quite impressive, and a lot of people wanting to talk with him about it. As the guy who came to the alleyway that night would just tell Hisashi that he did a good job defending his girl. Him confused at what he means. Before he does say that whenever he arrived, his girl was covered in blood, and holding him in her arms. Hisashi not just saying a word, as he basically does at least try and play this off as, "Oh yeah, well, trying to be a knight in shining armor. Girls dig that stuff, man." Him just trying to play it off like that. Before heading home after work and having that picture ring in his mind about what happened. As whenever he does arrive home, he arrives early, walking in on Inko, chowing down on some meat. As whenever she does at least look up from the dinner table, she sees him. As her eyes do widen, and Hisashi would basically just let out a scream. Kind of confused as she would just run forwards. Him going back to run straight for the door to grab his briefcase. Before she would just grab him and tackle him to the ground. And her eyes would just change back, telling him that it's okay. Shh. Telling him to stay quiet. As someone would come running in. And at least open the door a bit to see what's going on. As soon as they see a woman on top of a man, they would just close the door, mistaking this as one of those occurrences. So, Inko would at least try and explain to Hisashi what happened, along with about how she saved his life. Hisashi just kind of confused, and asking exactly why is she trying to stay close to him, along with asking her a few questions. He's using his training to at least try and stay calm. The woman he's loved, the woman he's talked to, been with, she's a ghoul. As he does get a bit angry, he does want to yell at her, but the commotion earlier already caused enough problems. As he does actually ask her exactly why is she eating so much. Are you the binge eater? Well, as she would just look down, before at least mumbling yes. Hisashi a bit mad, and wanting to scream at her. She's lied to him, as he would just ask exactly, give him one good reason why he shouldn't turn her in. Before she does explain to him that she can give him a few, explaining that she's loved him. She has not lied. She, well, that night whenever they first met, it was a chance encounter. She didn't plan it, she didn't mean for it or anything like that. As she's just lying to him. She obviously planned it, but she doesn't want to admit that. If she does, she's gonna be in a whole load of trouble. The two talking more, and eventually things going for. It's all about the fact that they love each other. Inko is close to him because he seemed like a genuinely good guy. And the way he saw everything was new. It was interesting. I saw she just thinking back on everything. Along with the fact that Inko does at least bring up her next point. As he just explained to Sasha that she is pregnant. And that the reason why she's eating so much is because of, well, the whole idea of what happens whenever she doesn't. She could die and her baby could die. Their child could die. Hisashi, a bit surprised. And he's just thinking, this is some seriously messed up shit. What has he gotten himself into? Before doing one thing, sitting down and talking with Inko, along with her explaining certain things to him about life as a ghoul. It's all about the fact that you try and survive day to day hungry. Some days you go with food more than others. Can you imagine only eating twice a week and think that that's enough to get you by? Hisashi actually sympathizing with Inko a bit, and at least the two hugging. Hisashi a bit hesitant, however. He still has his guard up. As soon as Inko does at least pull him in and squeeze him a bit, he would actually shake up, or at least tense up a bit. Her letting go of him, she does at least say that she does genuinely love him. Before just walking away. Walking over to the bedroom and going to sleep. Hisashi doing one single thing as he stares down at his phone. He has a choice. Call us in and explain what's been happening, or leave it alone. As there's at least a third option. He resigns from the CCG and gets a different job. After people find out that Inko is pregnant, they would have at least congratulated him and understand why he's leaving so early in his career. Family is important, so he's going to be taking care of his. Some people asking why he doesn't just try and get a desk job. They still pay pretty well. Him just explaining that the one he's found, he can start right away after his 2 weeks are up here. After that, as eventually things would just end. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And, well, for those of you who are finding it a bit odd that I'm making Deku more Inko, the ghoul, and saying that, oh yeah, no, Deku just didn't get into an accident like that, everyone does that. It's a bit of a cop-out, I just don't understand it. Anyway guys, I do hope you enjoyed, and have an amazing day.